There is never enough coffee. Okay, look, it's 12:30 in the morning. I'm just gonna fart around and look at some stuff. Let me take care of the screen. I gotta pop out the chat. Where's the button? Okay, I gotta set up the screen. There, I got the chat popped out. I'm gonna move that over here. I see Bill and Cindy. Nice cup, she says. Cindy sent me that cup. That's my favorite cup. I had another favorite cup, but I broke it. All right, these things happen. They wear out. They get busted. Okay, so now that's my favorite cup, but I don't put the cap on it because it gets kind of funky. All the constant moisture. Look, I got some BU rolls from. Wait a minute. Here it is from this guy, Value Hunter. Ta-da! He's got a subtle channel sticker that won't focus either. No matter. But we'll put one of those in the big show because I got a couple of stickers there. But we got what? 70 something? I don't know what these are. I just said give me some of those. Yeah, he was over at CJ's show last week. CJ's got a multi-channel auction every whatever day. Wednesday? Yeah, 11:25. That's early yet. So we're gonna go through and see if they're any good. What do we got? 70D. See what to look for. We got I'm gonna go through that one first. 69D. They look pretty square. Okay. 73 something. I'll have to look. 73 with a mint mark, but the way that's lined up, I can't quite see it. Just when I needed more rolls. That's Coin Collector Ohio. 73. Unfocusable. There is a point in the world at which this will focus. I promise you. It's just not around here. There, 73D. We got a couple of those. All right, they look pretty decent. I hate to get BU rolls in tubes and they're all brown on the side, but you can be surprised sometimes. Maybe just the old paper that they were in. What you got here? 75Ds. Good, because the ones I had were splotchy. Another 75D. Let's see if his stuff's any good. Had two rolls of these. All right, these are register rolls, right? But the end, well, on one end was 96D. Well, I went through. I found one roll. I found one 96D with a double die reverse, really minor one, and there were a couple of just whatever's tossed in there, and those were nothing. But the coins they checked out. They were wonderful. Oh, don't drop it, damn it. Okay, 74D. Yep. We're going to see if those are large date or small date. Da-da-da. There we go. Okay, so this is the start. Just Stanley's here. Hey, Ken, you caught me up working on my channel. We'll get to work. Don't let me stop you. I'm just looking at old pennies, baby. If you got some good stuff to look at, by all means, carry on. I'm going to get over to the scope. There it is. I'm going to shrink my head a little. Oh! You got to squeeze it. Yeah. And there it is. Here's one I don't know where this came from. Probably from Frank. He had a bunch of these. That's a double die reverse on a 2000 something. Okay, well, I'll put it right back where it was. Let's look at these. What do you say? Okay, we got tape across there. You always get this. If you ever ship in rolls, don't worry about putting tape across there. We can get into it. I'd rather have a piece of tape on there. Now, he had put them in bags as well, in case the tubes break. It's good to have them in bags. All right, this one doesn't want to come apart. The tape is yellow. That's a good sign, because old tape tends to turn color. I'll cut that seam. Where the hell's that wrench? So if you got, kind of yellowy tape, that's a good sign it probably ain't been looked at in a while. All right. Oh. Well, that's broken. All right, this is one of the old style tubes, right, where you gotta turn a little and then lift. Well, I just tore it right off in one direction, so I think I broke my little nubbies. Oh well. Every company has to have a different. Oh, these look great. It has to have a different style, so they can patent the darn thing. Because you got to have a patent on a freaking cylinder. Yeah. Let's have a look at what we got here. I'll put them out here in front. They look great. They look pretty darn good here. Let's have a look. What do you got? All right. Now, I'm not wearing gloves because if I do, I'm just going to drop them everywhere. But we're looking at the quality of the coin. We're looking at spottiness, blemishes, you know, discolorations. Have they lost their luster? And I'd say these have every bit of luster that they had back in 1969. And then we get in there and look at them. This looks like a pretty good batch so far. The coin desk is clean. Dude, I don't know how you do it. Oh, that's the wrong button. Mine just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Here's the tubes come in. There's stuff here. No. There's just no way. There's stacks of stuff over here. What do you got in there? I was getting ready for a sale and I said, the hell with it. Enough working. I'm just going to look at some pennies for a while. So that's where I am right now. There's a scope. Let's see what we got here. All right, 69D. Now, I haven't looked up what we should look for on 69D, but I'm going to guess it's the regular stuff. Oh, some doubling around the date, the mint mark. We'll check the back. I picked these up because I wanted some better examples of no FG and floating roof. Okay. Well, let's see if we can find them. You get these on the 69Ds, real heavy. You get them on other dates too, right? They polish the die out, and what happens is the F and G, being its kind of lower relief, gets wiped out. Also, these lines here, right below the cornice here, right below this this soffit, these get washed out. They get polished away, and so it looks like a floating roof, just sitting up there. Who's up here? Blues is here. Stream Raid. Yeah, you know, it's Blue's birthday today. I bet you didn't know that. Happy birthday, Blues. We'll send you a cake. Cindy will jump out of it. What you got on that T? There's a little bit of a blemish on that. I'm going to look at it. I had a loop here. Yeah, that's a contact mark is all that is. That goes over to the rim. No problem. They're in pretty decent shape here. They're shiners. They're not covered in spots. You're going to see a little bit here because this camera is going to blow it up. All right, these little spots, you're not going to see these with your naked eye. Now, at least not with my naked eye, I can tell you that. Let's see if we can get this to focus and see what it really looks like. There, that's what it looks like. That's what they call screaming red. Huper's here. I'm blue. Well, shouldn't you be? What's over the hill? I'm too short. Stand up. Amy walks into a place and says, I can't see it. Everybody else, stand up. And here she's on a chair already. She's only this big. She's just little. Poor thing. She got a couple of kids, and it comes in handy because if she got to get a top shelf, the kids jump up on the countertop and get it down for her. All right, I'm going to want a little more, let's bring it right to about there. Now I can zoom in further, and I'll be happy with that. This is about where I like to have it when I'm looking for stuff. Now we just keep poking around. We got a roll of these to go through, and we'll look at something else next. No way. Yeah, it's Blues. He's over the hill. What are you, 40? 39? 102? You're going to see this on a lot of stuff, right? Right here. You'll see weakness in the design here. You'll see it a lot of times up on these letters. sometimes on EPU, and right down here, and that's just a signature of a weaker strike, because on the other side of this, you have that big head, right, and the big vest, and especially that vest, you get a lot of relief on that. It takes up a huge amount of copper, so if it's not jamming it fully hard, sometimes the metal doesn't quite fully fill the voids here. Okay, that one's a little bit spotty. What you got here? Look for cracked heads. I look for dyed chips. I look for any issues that are going on. What do you got? A little chip, a little crack there. That's pretty minor. Right down here, you got a little bit of a small die crack right here. Now, let's see if that continues around on anything. That's a common place for it. You know, bottom of the shoulder. That doesn't look like anything significant. What's up, CJ? We were just talking about you. Now that's CJ. He's got the multi-channel show where I got these rolls and a few other things. And we'll give it a look. And these came from Value Hunter. He usually does, you know, a couple, 3 people jump in on those shows. And it works out pretty well because a lot of people who want to sell coins don't have an audience, right? Really, if you want to have an effective show, you need 50 to 100 people watching, especially if you're doing an auction, because otherwise you're just not going to get bids. All right, starting bid is $2, and that's what it moves out there. Well, there's strategies to employ. This has a few marks on it. Well, it's a shiner. That's the kind of thing I'd put in a folder. That's a little spotty here. Well, it's got FG, you know. You know, you got to be fair to the audience, fair to the seller, or fair to the buyer, and you got to be fair to the seller too. So you need, you know, you need critical mass if you're going to sell coins on YouTube. Not like Facebook, where oftentimes the sales go on for a few days, you know. Bidding starts and then there's 24 hours for it to end. You know, you gotta have 24 hours past the last bid for it to end. And that gives people a chance to get online and see it. Let me move this out of the way. It's got a spotty right there. There you go. So CJ's over 1,000 subs now. And people are taking notice. So it's a good venue to sell stuff. You got it going on that bottom step. Nothing out of the ordinary. Okay, now I got a problem. What's that first one we looked at? Right in the bottom here. First one we looked at, I looked at this and said, that's a damage. I said, that's damage. What kind of looks like damage? But now, see the T, the bottom of the T? Memorize that. Look at the same issue over here. That's not damage. I always start with the assumption of damage. Always. Right? Until I can prove otherwise. And how do you prove otherwise? You come up with multiple coins with the same issue. There we go. Goes to, yep, meets over at the rim. Bottom of the T. We got identical marks here. So this now says not damage, probably something else. So now we got to explain the darn thing. See what we got. But we're looking at the bottom of the T. So these coins are made with the same die. Look at that. See the E inside the E? I've got these lines that go in this direction. A little bit of a slope versus the straightness of the E. These are polish marks. All right. If I look at the other coin, I have those same exact polish marks. All right. See the way that is? That's why these things serve as die markers. But when you have one issue on more than one coin, and it's identical. I mean, look at the bottom of that T, that little dual thingy. Then you're saying that's part of a die issue. So I'm going to have to take a look at these real quick. All right. I've got some bits of that are up and some bits of that are down. So that's consistent with something hit the die. I dropped a screwdriver, right? Maybe I had a soda and threw it in there, got bounced around, I don't know. But some of those bits are raised and some are depressed. So I've got distortion on the die itself. There it is. We can see that below the T, that seems to be indented, and above the T, above the bottom of the T, those appear to be raised. So on the die, there would be an indentation at the T, and below would be where it kind of got shoved up. That's just screaming die gouge is what that says. All right, so these I keep out. Why can't you focus? Come on, why? What? There's, what? Make it. Oh Christ! I might be a little close there with the camera. There you go. Now, how do we see if it's raised or not? Let's change the angle on that camera. And maybe we can get this to show up. There we go. Don't mind that don't mind that blinding spot that is the rim. This will give you an idea of it being raised. Raised up is going to be a little bit brighter because the light's coming in from the southeast. And depressed or incused into the field would be a little bit darker. There you go. All right. Let's see if we get any more of those. What is that, a spider? Oh, gross. Aha, says Coin Dragon. Yeah, so we got matching die gouges. Let's see if we can find some more. You know, every roll you can find stuff. They might be really, really minor. Okay, so I'm going to get a little piece of paper. Try this. Get a little piece of paper and write it down rather than just set it here and get back to it like in 6 weeks. Because I can guarantee I'm going to run out of coffee. I'm going to have to go to the bathroom. I'll need a smoke. You guys will distract me. CJ will need attention. Okay, let's see. That's a die gouge. Bottom of the T. There. Yeah, and Cindy will talk about how she smells, and I'll have to go smell her package immediately. That sounded dirty. Oh, Christ. Okay, that's a regular T on that one. Go back up that scanning height. Okay, regular T. Now, it's really neat because if you can match up, right, the polishing lines on this coin to those coins over there with that die gouge, I've got before and after. Look at this. I've got similar polishing marks, similar direction, but I don't have the blemishes under the T. Huh. Let's look for other die markers. What you got? There would be a die marker specific to this die. I'm going to move it around. I like to wiggle it up and down because that's going to change the light and it's going to show me things. How about, let's see. We'll get a little raised ding right here, just a little ding dong raised up. I think we get a little bit of raised metal right there below the C. Let's see if we got that same thing over here. But those polishing lines are a really good match. What else have we got? Oh, they changed the direction. All right, let's see if we got them. They're just about vertical over here beside the on. On this one, I've got no hint of them. All right, that does not seem to be the same die as this one with the gouge. All right, do we see anything on the? Oh, let's check for floating roof and stuff. Looks good there. Nope, get up here. Anything on the front we got to pay attention to? Looks pretty sharp. All right, nothing to see on that one. Come on, FG, attached to the building. That's kind of common. Look for the the design changes over the years. That's why you want to keep one of every date. Every date, every mint mark. So you can follow the design changes. You can pick out, if I'm going through 69D, I want to have a reference example to pull out and say, aha, this doesn't look like that other one. That's how they found things like Henning nickels. Fairly consistently weak on the top of the memorial in this batch. No gouge on the T. Let's keep going. Now the way they make these, right? They make the pennies. They come out of the presses and go down a little chute, land in a hopper, and then they dump 50,000 more pennies on top of them to make sure that we give every coin, marks and stuff, because that's how we roll. Well, anyway, that's what the mint does. I got a different mark on the bottom of that T. Let's compare that little mark to this coin, because maybe we have an earlier stage. So you got to realize they're making all these pennies out of the same darn dies, right? They all go down the same chute, they land on the same hopper, they get stuffed in the same bag, go to the same company where they get stuffed into rolls all together. And there's a little bit of mixing. Sometimes, you get two different dies will land in the same hopper. Yeah, the bottom of that T is what I want to see. Does that duplicate on this one? And I don't see any evidence of that. All right, so sometimes you get a few different dies, but if you find one variety in a BU roll, that's going to let you know if they all came together or if they traveled separately. Let's look at that little mark. That is a classic die wear mark. So I can get that to focus. Okay, there you go. Kind of looks like an extra bit. There is no relief on that at all. There we go. I've got leading and trailing die wear. That's die deterioration is what we're looking at here. Yeah, you see that. There's no relief to it. But you go through these uncirculated rolls, and it's kind of neat because if you get a good hit, you got dozens of them, whatever it is. Let's find that one I want to keep. This one is no good. That's just die wear. And this should be the gouge. That's the gouge. I got this roll of 2017, it's just one roll, and I got 20 of them. Looks like death rays shooting out of Lincoln's eyes, and they're identical. And it's a polishing anomaly, a polishing mark, a really excessive one too. But I got 17 of the darn things. That's a little bit of die wear. See the direction? Points right to Lincoln's ear. Let's see if we can line that toothpick up with the direction. See that direction on the metal flow? You follow it up, it's going to go over to here to to right around, you know, the bottom, like right about here is like the center of the coin. But I'm so zoomed in you can't see nothing. I nabbed the best out of my rolls from the Dansko. Yeah, that's the next thing. Keep the very best. Look, you know, you got to roll. If you see one that's better than the others, save it. This one is superior. Make that one your new reference model, your new best. If it's not your absolute best, it's a best out of 50, and that's going to be pretty good, especially if they're in, you know, real good shape like this one. Okay, that's connected. Same die wear, same less fill. What you got here? You got a kind of a thing right there I want to look at. You know, has raised. Okay, what would make a raised mark on your penny going from the flower from the planter, no, to the stairs? It starts over here somewhere, and it's got pretty good size to it. It goes through from there through the planter and continues up here. There's a little die crack is all that is. I might save that one out just to see if I feel like recording it one day. There you go. So I've got the focus is a little higher. That's flat, right? So I got to lift one edge of the card to bring it into focus. And that helps me play with the light and see stuff easy. And more die wear. All right. A little piece of paper. Little die crack, but it's an odd place for it. Usually they start at the edges. Yeah. Let's see if we get 20 more just like that one. All right, let's get some more out here. Okay, we'll go through those and then set them aside. All right. Then this one's next. It's you ready? Oh, it's a 1969D. There, you got heavy polishing marks on this one. Heavy. Really, really heavy. So we're into another die here on this one. You got to realize they polish the surface of the die to remove whatever issues they want to remove. A lot of times it's going to be clash marks. So when they polish it this darn hard, chances are some of these clash marks are going to remain. Well, they don't really add any value, but it's a great way to test your skills and hone your skills and see, can you identify what the hell they were doing to take that out? Because those are big marks, dude. They just butchered this one. Then you find some weird stuff sometimes. Now, what's that? What do you think, Frank? Lamb? That's it. That's the whole length of it. No, that's at about what? 1.5 millimeters? Well, that's why. That's why they polish the hell out of it. Sometimes you get too much zoom. Let's back that up and see what we can see. If we can see the color. Aha. See that? That's why the die polishing marks are so darn heavy. I don't see it over here. But over here, I got rectangles. You can see that. They got most of it. But that Sometimes you get the clash so darn severe that you leave numerous lines. And this is the the columns and bays from the memorial on the other side. They call them jailbirds. You know, if you got to have a name like, looks like Pooh. I'm not convinced that's a lamb. Looks more like something hit it. All right, so we got lambs that strong on the front. Do we have lamb? Not lambs. We got clash that big on the front. Do we got them on the back? Okay, lots of polish marks. Little over polishing marks. Yeah, that was a clash, and they dressed it and cleaned it up. You still got some remnants there in Bay 2. If I get some over here. Yeah, nothing to write home about. But I'll probably find more of these. FG's there. Roof. Connected. Pluribus looks good. Okay, that's okay. I've seen them with polishing marks so heavy it almost looks like the coin is wore out. T looks right. With a little grease spot right there. If you get a grease in the devices, it's going to fill them, and you won't get the impression. But if it's on a flat field, you get kind of a splotch with a little bit of chatter. That's what you're getting in there. FG, we'll get the roof. We look over here. Looks pretty straight otherwise. I don't see a thing wrong with this. That was a deep one. Nothing on that. We got probably 5 or 6 different dyes in this group so far. D looks righteous. Let's see if I can make that focus right. I've seen clashing on the 90s that look almost ghosted. Oh yeah. Man, they smash the hell out of those things. Lots of polishing here. How you look? She's a little thinner on this one. Oh, we got another one of those. Remember that one? With that die crack right beside the planter, we got another one of those. Now we compare which one was made first. What was that first one? Okay, here's the first one. All right, we can see that that crack seems to grow past the planter on the 45 degree. That seems to come up into here. But the second one, where are you? We got that big one here, but it does not seem to go. So I would suggest that this one was struck first. That looks normal. There. Now we got 2 of the same die crack. These things change over time, right? You get the dies and they'll be beautiful, and then all of a sudden they show up with lots and lots of cracks, or they show up with lots and lots of polishing marks. Sometimes the cracks disappear, altogether because they replaced one of the dies. There's a crack. Looks like a contact mark right there. You see a clash mark show up, and then it's scraped off. What's through the U and Trust? It looks like the rim of another coin made an impact on that spot. It's got a few marks on it. Keep going. Now, if you look for known varieties, chances are you might find some known varieties here and there. And you strip down and go naked, you'll find stuff that is not recorded by, copper coins or cuds on coins. But you got to be able to diagnose it correctly. This looks good. You never see die cracks there. No, and I got two of them the same. That's an odd place for a die crack to appear. What you got up there? There's a little bit of a chip forming just above the top right. That'd be pretty minor. You see these like on the tops of the shield scents. Yeah, that's just a little bit of a worn out die is what's happening there. FG's there. We got that roof. We got no crack here. Check that T. Where'd you go? T looks normal. What's that? Well, there's about the tiniest die chip I've ever seen. Right there on the end. Is that recordable or not? There is a limit at which point you just don't bother recording this stuff. That thing is a tenth of a millimeter. That's not even worth bothering with. I'm not going to bother with that one. But that was a small die chip. I've seen parts of the date clashed up there before too. Northeast corner of the memorial. I've seen you get the sometimes T and Y over here. Yeah. Let's see. The date would be down around here somewhere, right? No, date would be up in the north. I'd be looking for the date up around here somewhere. Not a bad looking roll. Maybe we'll see another one of those end die chips. Nothing in that one. My life is a die clash. I'm in touch. And if it wasn't for coins, I wouldn't be doing coins today. I'd have a real job or something. Look at that one. That's been polished to hell out. That's been polished to hell and back, that one. No roots connected. Nothing there. All right, what do you got? Nothing? That looks perfectly normal. Tie's good. Lips good. Ears good. Check his eyeball. You don't have to check every single feature, but you check enough to take an accurate sampling of the coin. If you check enough of it, you can figure, okay, there's nothing here to play with. Nothing to see here, folks. Return to your homes. That's a little soft. No crack there. We got an FG. We got a roof. A little mark on the lower E. Makes it look like it's split. I see people that get the first time with a loop or a scope, and every single coin they look at, dude, here's another double die. That is a classic indication of die wear right there. You go through enough of these, you'll know. I don't see anything out of the ordinary there. 84. Nope, 69. That looks perfectly normal. Keep on going. No crack. Soft. Kind of get that fat E. Nothing on the T. I've been searching for a double E my whole life. I've been looking for those 84s since 83. Guy at the Mint says, hey man, you want to watch out for these. I'm asking for a raise on the 14th. So watch for some screwed up coins on the 15th. Must not have got his raise. Huh, that's funny. Anytime you say to yourself, huh, that's funny, whatever it is you're saying it about, you want to give another look. Do you see it, Frank? You've got this thing, what the hell is this? All right, if I wiggle that back and forth, I got lots of polished lines going this way, lots and lots of them. It mimics what's going on here. It's the same direction as what's going on below that L. So I want to get the light right and see if we got raised metal there. I'm going to have something there. Yeah. Oh, that looks like it's related to the polishing. There's no real relief to it. All right, carry on. L has a poop. Yeah, you get that. You get poopy coins. There's some big fat dot. Look at that. Look at that. What the hell do you use for polish that with? A brick? We just scrape this across the top here. It'll get rid of everything. Don't worry about a thing. I got this, boss. They polish the Jesus out of this thing. There's your FG. Roof's a little bit light on one side, maybe. No. Those are major polishing marks. I'm going to set that aside because I bet you we find another one of those. Look, look, right there. The next coin. All right. These are diagnostics. Let's say I had a double die or a repunch mint mark or something on this coin. There's a bigger error, a significant error. Right? I would be able to verify that this was the same die by looking at these lines. Look, goes for the S like you never seen. Looks like the Death Star firing around that planet, you know the one? And let's look at this coin. Same exact marks. They're not just kind of alike, they are identical. There you go. Look at the E. What do you got? 2 or 3 coming out of there? Let's see if we can get that focused just right. Be very gentle. Okay, we got that E. And coming out of the bottom corner of that E, you get this one bright line. And off the bottom of that bright line is a second line. It kind of meets it about halfway over. Let's look for that same line up above. There's my E. There's a bright line. And there's that second line that kind of jumps out halfway over. They're not just similar. They are identical. That's why die markers are the fingerprints of the dies. What you got here? Doo-doo. This one's got rubber dog shit on it. Nothing there. Get my focus back here. We can probably find another one of those big polishing marks. Nope, nothing there. Roof, FG, all good. Wish Denver had the same issue. These are Denvers. I would bet that die was polished in Philly and shipped. They took it from Denver, sent it to Philly, where they frigged it up and sent it back and said, "We're done with it." Yeah, you can't see the problem now. See that terribly weak spot. Now, 1969 is an interesting year. It is a unique obverse design for this year. If you compare the bust of a 1969 to the 68 with that big head and the high relief and the letters that kiss the edge here, 1969 is its own design. They changed it again in 1970. What are you doing up, young lady? Nope, I don't see anything there. She's learning about die markers. Ooh. What was that? Somebody's sweat? Nobody knows. Ooh. I bet you this one was the original end of the roll before it went into this tube. So there's natural toning. Okay, nothing else there. What you got here? Weak spot. Watching your awesome video. Okay. That's allowed. Can't put your kinky stuff up before playing with your coins. Did I put my kinky stuff up yet? Baby, what'd you do with the gorilla suit? This looks pretty good. I've got that same issue below the L. I bet, yeah. We've got those polishing marks below the L's. Same as that other one. Okay, get some more. Because I gotta empty the tube so I can put these back into the tube, right? Okay, we got some color up here. This is probably near the end of the roll. That wants a little attention at the top of that mint mark. Why am I getting a splash of light? Alright, let's zoom in here. What the hell are we looking at? I got a little bit of extra metal inside the D, which would be on the lower towards the right. There you go, but I got a splash of light at the top. That's what's got my attention because I can't see good enough. This is really small. So have we got damage? Okay, I always start with damage. Is it damage? Could it be damage? Well, it could be damage. I can't rule it out yet. But I don't see a whole lot of similar sized damage nearby. Right? I'm thinking, could it be an RPM? Maybe. WW Gorilla D. Let's look over here and see if we got anything raised up. Okay, we got to find the D. Well, we'll find the date. We can find a place at which it shows up. I can't tell nothing, man. Let's find that D. We're looking at the top of that D. It's not really that filthy. I can't see a damn thing. Alright, I'm going to set that aside and compare it to known, but I don't like the shape of that D at the top. No, it looks like it's got no relief. It looks like it's flat. It looks like it took a tiny little hit. I'm going to set that aside. We'll look at that further. Oh, a lot of rolls are just 49 in them now. Man, somebody broke into my house last night and they stole everything and replaced it with an exact duplicate. I don't know what they were thinking. That had to be a lot of work. But I can tell. I don't know how they did it. I got no way to explain it, but that's what they did, all right. The WeatherTech ninjas. So why do you have a lot of rolls with only 49 in them? I don't understand that. You just took the best and the hell with the rest? That's what I tend to do. Yeah, I'll go to the bank and get the new rolls and I keep the best one. Then I put like a washer in there so the count stays right. Best one in the folder. We'll take the one out of the folder. What you got here? We got some die wear going on here. I think we've seen this die before. There's that fat E. There's your soft spot. No crack. Bye-bye. Well, it's nice when you find something because you hit and hit and hit and hit. Jeez, it's nice when when you're hitting $10 coins or $20 coins. You spend $2 on a BU roll. You pull out 30 coins worth $10 a piece. That's a win. That's why we do this stuff. That's why we're sick with this. Doesn't happen with every roll. In fact, it's only happened to me a couple of times. But boy, it's nice when it does happen. I come across top-offs. What's a top-off? What do you see? What do you see here? What do you call that? Why are they scrubbing this so damn hard? Why would they go to so much trouble just to bullshit me? I don't see any discoloration. No, they just polished it. What? Let's piss off Ken and Foot. Let's piss Ken off in 50 years and just polish the hell out of this one. Why do they do that? I'm not seeing anything. Okay, we had a little clashing going on inside here, but most of it's been removed. Hardcore. I'll put a beat up Indian scent on the end, re-roll it, sell it on eBay. Hey. Yeah, I'll put a VDB showing and say, S? Huh? Don't buy that stuff. Dude, do not buy that stuff. You know, they take a roll of they take a roll of pennies, you know, 40s and 50s, P's and D's, and they're gonna put together a roll. So they put a mercury dime on one end. Look, now we got 3 of these. All right, then put like a, I don't know, an Indian penny on the other end. And they say, unsearched wheat roll. How the hell do you know it's a wheat roll if it's unsearched and you see no evidence of a wheat penny? How? Answer me, Phil. Answer me. It doesn't make sense. You know what makes sense is when they go to the bank and they got your money in their account. That makes good sense to them. That's called effective scam artistry. That's what that is. That tea and cents looks like a Grew Roots. Yeah, we got 3 of those now. Did you see them? Where'd it go? Okay, ready? Here's that one, right, with the roots. Some are raised. Look at the light. Some parts are raised, some parts are not raised. But wait. There's another one, identical. Wait for it. There's another one, identical. That's a die gouge. And 1, 2, and 3 are the same. Yep, we're up to 3 of those. See if we can get some more. Trifecta. You know, I first called it damage. That was my first assumption. I'm going to call this one damage. Until I can prove otherwise. Well, we proved it, didn't we? Coins don't get damaged the same way. You can damage the die, right? And then it'll make coins the same. That seems to be what's happened here at the die gouge. But the coin is not damaged. It's exactly as it was minted. Give me some tighten up. There it is. No, not too bad. We've only had a couple that are spotty. This one's got heavier marks than all the rest put together, I think. Oh, where's the coffee? A fishtail. I missed the fishtail. What, on the trifectas, on that the gouge? What do you got? The E's not quite so fat, and that's not quite as squished out. What you got under there? That's a dye wear if I ever seen it. That's a little dye wear producing that secondary bit. All right, on the third root. That's why the one's still on top. Fishtail. Fishtail and the T. That's what I see. Some parts are raised, and some parts are depressed, and all parts are blurry. Well, I don't see what you're talking about. Fishtail. That one's clean. We got FG, we got a roof. That's too bad. I've always hoping for some good floating roofs. Kind of a fat E, and there's your soft spot. Sorry, look like a fish in the light. It's not really a fish. It just looks kind of like a fish. Toothpick. How much to push away? No, I don't. That's a little rub. Another coin. Identifying varieties, it's all about repetition. I mean, you go throw coin after coin, roll after roll, box after box. You drive yourself nuts. You see these things in your sleep. S over T. You look at enough of these, you know exactly what to look for. Strike through. Oh, that bit? If it is, that's pretty darn tiny. Here it is. That bit? Could that be a strike through? If it is a tiny one. I wouldn't call it significant, that's for sure. It probably is. It seems to have the features you see in a struck through debris, right? I've got no plowed up metal on the sides. That's smooth, right? It's just the inside is incuse, and it reflects light if you can get it right. So that dark line, that snake there, is consistent with a struck through. Whereas over here, these brighter lines, well, geez, come on, look at it. It's the edge of another coin. See how it's a little bit rounded? And if I get the light to show up right, we'll see it's got some, you know, a ridge. whereas that black snake don't have a bridge. That's consistent with a strike through. But it is a tiny, tiny thing, that strike through. It's not, this wouldn't make me say, ooh, I gotta have that. No, that's just a, you get these, you get little strike throughs on a lot of coins. They're just little tiny pieces. You know, if it covers like half his head, that'd be something different. You know, but you go through these coins, you learn what the heck you're seeing. The diagnostics on how to decide what the hell you're looking at. Yeah, you can figure out, oh, that is a struck through. And then you can decide, you know, is it worth a damn? And that one wasn't. Just because you can identify an error doesn't mean it's valuable. It needs to be, you know, clash marks, they need to be significant for them to really start to draw a premium. Right? You'll find struck through debris all over the place. Every day, every series, you see them on proofs all the time. A lot of times it's just a little piece of metal shaving, right? They put this thing in the upset mill, right? Or how about that bit of finning? A piece of that just kind of scrapes off somewhere. And you get these little bits, little crumbs floating around the system. Oh, what time is it? Now, so it's not just identifying the issue, it's determining, you know, is it anything? Is it significant? Is it important? Is this something that we got to bother with? It's a little flattened out up there in the U. See the way the light becomes solid? It tells me that whole surface is flat and level. Look at, we got a fourth one on the T. It's a fourth die gouge. Let's check the T first. Okay, not that one. That's a spotty one. That's a nasty spotty thing there. Yeah, I don't like that one at all. Oh, I should that was it back to the back. Coffee. Give me coffee. There, that'll keep me up. Let me move the keyboard out of my lap. There, now I can bounce my feet and get the blood flowing a little better. Wake back up. Because, man, there's coins to look at. I'm not taking a nap right now. You kidding? That looks pretty normal. Oh, well. FG is good. Well, I was hoping. We only got about 5, 6 more to go on this roll. That's a darn shame. That's a good popular one. Yeah, those 1969D with a floating roof and no FG, they were all the rage back in the day. Man, you got to get one of those. They even certified a few examples, and then they just kept on coming and coming and coming and coming. And then they realized, well, it's not really rare after all. There's gazillions of them. So they stopped certifying them. So PCGS has like, 30 or 40 of them that have been certified as floating roof. And those have a premium because it's an obsolete listing. They don't certify them anymore. No, those are the only ones that have value. I think they all belong to like one of the head guys at PCGS. Yeah, that's a die crack right there. That is a die crack. That one I'm keeping. Let's put him there. Nothing there. Nothing there. 4 more. Must have been a bigger roll than I thought. Nothing there. We get FG, we get a roof. Yeah. You go through roll after roll after roll and find nothing. And every now and then you find something, and then you say, aha. I can't flip it over. There you go. Nothing on that one. 2 to go. There's 1, there's 2. What do you got? Well, we didn't find any repunch mint marks, although we do have one possibility, but it's going to be pretty minor. We didn't find any double dies. We got a couple of die gouges. And a couple of cracks. I don't see a thing on these. Okay, that is it. There we go. We got a couple of them that were kind of spotty. Not too bad. A couple that were toned. And that's it. We'll get a bunch of decent ones. Look, guys, I'm going to take off. I'm having trouble staying awake. It's time for me to take a nap. Yep. There. These are those 4 die gouges that match. Right, with that bit on the T. You can see they're in beautiful shape. There's that die crack at the T. And there's the die crack over in the stairs. Stop moving. 2 of those. And then we got that one that's a possible, give it more attention type of thing. That one right there. That's what we got out of that roll. Yeah. Nothing great, but not a total loss. I'll probably record these. I might record that one. I haven't decided on these. And I'll give that, another look. Hey, Lynn Drake, thanks for stopping by and watching. I hope you learned something. Every roll has something in there you probably have never seen or come across before. This hobby, die variety hunting, it's all about rote. It's all about repetition. Doing it over and over again until by the time you finish, you've redundant. That's what the definition of redundant is. There it is. Let's put these away. Okay. And we got plenty more rolls. Geez, we got plenty more rolls for plenty more shows. Yeah, we do one at a time until it gets to the point that I'm just going to lose my mind. Just want to go back to the bank. That's nasty. That's no good. Yep. And there's our haul. Okay, guys, thanks for stopping in. I'm going to take off.